guys, this is Chloe and welcome to the Altitude Podcast. Today I'm going to be talking about how important it is to check our hearts. I'm going to start out with Proverbs 4:23, which says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Our feelings can affect our actions, but with Jesus in our hearts, we have a choice of whether or not we're going to make the right decision or not. A few questions you could ask yourself might be about selfishness or greediness, but in Luke 6:31, it says to do to others as you would want them to do to you. Or another question you might have might be about hatred. You might even be asking God, "Lord, am I holding hatred in my heart against someone or dislike?" Because hatred is a sin, and I feel like hatred is probably one of the easiest things to find inside your heart, but probably one of the hardest things to ask forgiveness for, just because we don't want to let go. God said that love is the greatest commandment that He gives to us, and He says that love binds everything together in perfect unity. But most of all, He sent the ultimate sacrifice of love, which is Jesus Christ. He said that greater love has no one than this, than to lay down His life for His friends. Maybe think of it like this. Each year we go to the doctor's office to get a checkup. But how often do we take the time to do a spiritual checkup on our own lives? As disciples of Jesus, we are called to live a life of love. Love for God, love for our friends, for our family, and even love for people who don't love us. Jesus really sums it up when He says, "If you love me, then you will obey my commandments." I want to tell you a little story about Saul. I'm going to read out of Acts 9:3-9. It says, "On his journey, Saul approached Damascus. Suddenly, a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground. He heard a voice speak to him. 'Why are you opposing me?' 'Who are you, Lord?' Saul asked. 'I am Jesus, the one who you are opposing. Now get up and go into the city. There you will be told what you must do.' The men traveling with Saul stood there. They weren't able to speak. They had heard the sound, but they didn't see anyone. Saul got up from the ground. He opened his eyes, but he couldn't see. So they led him by hand into Damascus. For 3 days he was blind. He didn't eat or drink anything." What happened next was the Lord sent a vision to this man named Ananias. And Ananias said, "Yes, Lord." The Lord told him to go straight to the house of Judas and ask for Saul. At that point, God is giving Saul a vision of Ananias laying his hand on him and he being able to see again. Ananias didn't want to go because he knew about Saul and how he was persecuting all of these Christians, but the Lord told Ananias to go. So Ananias went to the house and placed his hands on Saul. Ananias told Saul that the Lord had sent him so that he would be able to see again. Right away, something like scales fell off of his eyes, and he was filled with the Holy Spirit. There's a difference between a heart transplant and a heart check. Saul needed a heart transplant, but with a heart check, it just means that you have some bumps in the road. But the cool thing is that God can use you no matter if you need a heart transplant or a heart check, and no matter the situation that you're in. God did later change Saul's name to Paul. And another thing I wanted to say is always allow the Holy Spirit to come into your life and into your heart. And because those are the times that you will truly change. Even try to commit to check your heart every morning when you get up or every night before you go to bed. Living a check your heart lifestyle not only trains you to recognize your sin, but it also empowers you to conquer it. Thank you for watching today's Altitude Podcast.